Hello everybody. Today I'm at a place not too far from my house. Dishui Lake. It's a big artificial lake. And over here is Lingang, one of the area I live in. And that is Dishui Lake Metro Station, which is the eastern end of line 16 of the metro. If you look at this lake on a map, it's very obvious that it's artificial because it's almost perfectly round, much more round than you'd ever see in nature. It's big enough though that it has definite effects on the weather in the area. You get wind influenced by it. And that's one of the reasons I'm wearing a jacket today, because I expect there to be some wind coming from the lake. There's footpaths leading around most of this lake, including this rather spectacular bridge to nowhere. I am guessing at some point there will be more completed footpaths over there for the bridge to connect to. But right now it seems like it's a bunch of construction on that side. Well, this is China. There's usually a lot of construction in China. Somebody here has got a way better camera than I've got. Speaking of my camera not being great, don't know if you can see that there's a bunch of birds out there on the lake. Some sort of waterfowl. I'm not close enough to really tell what they are. Not to mention I'm not exactly a great ornithologist to figure out what they are anyway. Should be a bit easier from here to see the birds bobbing on the water. Ducks, or something like ducks anyway. We're walking out here on a little peninsula that juts out into the lake, and is one of the things that prevents the lake from truly being completely round. Over there you can see the rounded edge, but this peninsula is obviously not so rounded. This is about the end of the peninsula here. That means it's also about the closest I can get to this sculpture right around the middle of the lake. Sort of a round disc of sorts. Not really sure what it's supposed to mean, or if it's just a sculpture. But this is about as near to the middle of the lake as I can get. Before I decide to just go ahead and continue. Oh, got someone coming by on a bike. That looks like it's one of the rental bikes around here. They're pretty popular these days in China. You can just scan a QR code on the bike, use WeChat or Alipay to pay for it, and then you get to rent the bike for a bit. And when you're done, you just sort of check out on your phone. I mentioned that there's a lot of wind here, and so it's not surprising we got someone over there flying his kite. Or her kite. Or their kite. I don't know. And here we are on the other side of the peninsula. Right over there again is the circular edge of the lake. Though there's a bunch of bamboo scaffolding blocking us from seeing it super well. And more duckies, or whatever kind of waterfowl those are. 2 kites. Cool. Oh, there goes again. I tried looking it up, and those birds might be coots. I'm not sure. I just kind of Googled their description, and that was the bird I came up with that looks closest, the Eurasian coot. And its geographical range does include this area, so maybe. Here we go, up a ramp here toward this cool bridge. So used to cross a little inlet of the water. It's pretty cool. Wood paneling all over. How fun. Cool. That's the end of the bridge. Cool. That was fun. Here we can get almost right up to the water's edge. They put a bunch of boulders here to make sure we don't fall right in, though. Or that if we do fall in, we at least get all the bones in our body broken as we do so. And over here we've got some park benches made of stone. Probably not the comfiest out there, but hey, they'll do. All around the lake are wind turbines, which is probably a good thing to have when there's so much wind from the lake. Good chance to make some energy in an environmentally friendly manner. And here comes another bridge. Kind of a cool wavy looking thing here on the left. Looks again like we're dealing with a bridge that's mostly made of wood. Pretty cool. You don't see a ton of wooden structures today in China, at least not in the big cities. Everything's made of concrete. I suppose that's true in most big cities, though. Ooh, this is a pretty cool little overhang here. Look at that. Pretty cool. I like this. Big bench here. Look out here over the water. And over the water on this side too. I think I just went back and forth between a British water and American water. Oh well, I do that a lot. The English I speak is interesting after all these years abroad. Bridges. Fun stuff. Got some tennis courts over here. I have no idea how to play tennis. I mean, I kind of know the rules, but I wouldn't know how to actually do it. Like, how to hit the ball so it didn't just go any random place. Basketball courts too. got a sailing club here. Don't seem to be very many people on the boat, on the lake I mean. Oh, there's a boat out there sailing. Cool. And now the way ahead is up a nice high bridge. Somebody caught a fish. Cool. Bunch of bridges here. And here we are getting right up to the pinnacle of this bridge. Pretty great view of the lake from here. And off we go. Down, down, down. And over here we've got a big kids playground. Pretty cool one. We've taken the kids here before. This thing's loads of fun to climb on. In the summertime, on weekends, this place can be just an absolute bustling zoo of kids. Today it's not so bad just because of the cold weather. Kids love this stuff. Nothing more fun to play on than pirate ships. Fun. This bus here they call a sightseeing bus. It goes all the way around the lake and it's free. So I'm going to use it to get back to my starting point today. Here I come. And here I am back at Dishui Lake metro station. From here I'll go home. Not by metro, but on a public city bus. And here I am riding the bus home. Hope you enjoyed today's trip to Dishui Lake. If you did like it, and you'd like to see more of my experiences here living in China, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.